So this is my first time ever driving a Tesla. This is a Model 3 with FSD. It's the new full self-driving supervised. As you can see, it doesn't really know where it's going. So I'm an Android user. This is very intuitive. For me, it's not like it's an iPhone where you have to kind of learn how to do it. But I'll kind of show you, what my thoughts are after a week of driving this. But basically right now I put in a destination and it's going to take me there. It's going to do literally everything, which is cool, but I'm not like super surprised or shocked that it can do this. Like, it's kind of like, okay, that's what it should be doing. So learning curve, there really isn't any. You have to basically put a little bit of force on the steering wheel. It'll remind you if you don't. And then there's a camera up here that keeps an eye on you, making sure you're like looking at the road and everything. So essentially, this is everything right here. You have your controls, you have pedals and steering, charging, like the charge port, locks, lights, everything's in here, navigation. See, now it says pay attention to the road because I'm not, and that's telling me to kind of hold on to the wheel because I'm not paying attention. So, like I said, it's pretty much like it's very relaxing to drive. I mean, you can just sit here literally and it'll do everything. It senses the things I was kind of surprised about. It senses like cones, so if there's road construction, bumps, it'll slow down for bumps, it'll slow down for crosswalks. It sees all that stuff. And the only issue is the charging. This location, there's only one supercharger, I think about 10 miles away, and it's pretty busy. So you have to go off peak hours, but the supercharger, it only takes, I want to say, 15 minutes to charge you probably 40%. And you're looking at probably anywhere from $13 to $20 roughly on that kind of a charge. But here you see the light is yellow, so it sees the car, and I'm still not paying attention. It's because the phone is in my hand. If the phone wasn't in my hand, I'd be good. So here's kind of the left-hand display. This shows you what the car sees essentially. So it sees 2 stoplights, and then it sees car sizes, so it knows the one in front of me is a truck. It knows these are cars. It sees buses and trucks. It sees motorcycles, bicycles, all that kind of stuff. There's not much you can really do with this. I mean, you can kind of do that and zoom out. There was a funny incident. There was a guy on a one wheel, and he was flying, and it showed just a dude like walking super fast because it didn't know like what happened. But yeah, that was kind of funny. So charging, like I said, $14 was the last charge. You see, just doing all this. It'll give you the side view camera, blind spot camera right there. And then it takes so it knows what way to go, like if there's more traffic or a traffic jam. And I guess there's a premium subscription where it'll show you the traffic volume. If you don't have this subscription, it still knows the traffic and it'll reroute. It just won't show you it. So I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know why you have to turn on Wi-Fi every time and connect to my phone as a hotspot. So it uses my phone as a hotspot to see live map data, like destinations and whatnot. Otherwise, if you're not on Wi-Fi, it won't. This is kind of like Google Maps in a way, where you can type in a name of a place and it'll pop up and then you can navigate to it. But if you don't have Wi-Fi, or there must be some type of connection through Tesla where it has that data, I'm not sure. Like I said, I've just been driving this for a little less than a week. So steering wheel, just two buttons. One is volume, and then one is not much. Like, it does settings, but it depends on what you're doing, I guess. So here, so autopilot, it will so you can change it, like different variations, how aggressive it is. minimal lane changes, and then if it notices you doing things, it'll ask questions like, do you want less lane changes, more lane changes? And then, okay, so the other thing is yellow lights. So it'll come to a pretty quick stop at a yellow light. It won't go through a yellow light, but you can just stab the gas and then go through a yellow light and it's fine. So like, let's say you have a destination here. Let me get out of this. So turn the wheel, we're out of autopilot essentially. So if we want autopilot on, all we do is pull down on the lever and then it's turned on and it'll take over everything. Like I said, in autopilot you can hit the gas and it'll still go. Like here I'm hitting the gas and then it'll just brake as it should. But if you want to like go through a yellow light or speed up a little bit, you can do that. It knows the speed limits of all the roads you're on, pretty much. There's some instances where there was speed limit higher than we currently were, than it thought we were at. And then the only other issue with this that we've had was, so forks in the road. We had 3 instances this trip where there was a fork, where like a merge fork, but then there was a second merge fork a little bit earlier, and it tried to take the first one instead of the correct merge. So I had to kind of step in and get it out of there and make it go the correct way. But other than that, those are my only complaints. I'd say it's about 75 to 80% of the way there. It's good, but there's just some little tweaks that have to be fixed. And here's no yellow light. We'll just blow it. We'll hit the gas and then it'll just keep going and then resume as normal. So yeah, I mean, really cool. If you're in some weird parking lot or something, it'll autopilot you out of it. So no need to worry, and it really takes the stress out of driving, but it also takes all the fun out of driving. So if you have any type of like excitement in driving, it's just not going to happen. So this is a Model 3. The interior is cool. It's got like sliding trays. The suspension is harsh. It's got double pane side glass, so its road noise is a little bit quieter. Most part, obviously I'm using Tesla. Lexus smoothness and quietness. So Model 3, it's got rough suspension. It's only got, I think, 17,000 miles or 15,000 or something, but that department could use a little work. I don't know if you can get different suspension with different models or whatever. But here, like, there's a car trying to turn left, and it does leave a space for it if it sees it, which is cool, so they can kind of cross over. And that slows down at intersections a tiny bit. And like I said, the only thing you gotta do is like just give it a little weight on the wheel for it to not kick you out. If it does kick you out, if you're not paying attention or whatever, you get like 5 strikes, and then basically you can't use autopilot or FSD anymore until you and I think it's about a week or 2 cooldown. If it happens on a trip once, then you can't start it up again until you end the trip and shut the car off, turn it back on again. So yeah, it's cool. It's cool. We can go through some more of these settings. You can play games on here. There's arcade and stuff. There's a ton of stuff here that I have never even looked at, but it shows you like consumption and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, the charging is the biggest issue. If you have a charger at work or at home, like a trickle type charger, not a supercharger, but something you'd have to leave it for 8 to 10 hours to fully charge, that's fine. But if you don't have that and you're relying on the supercharger network, really research that network and see how congested it is, what the busy times are, how far out of the way it is for you, all that stuff, because it almost makes it not worth it if you have to sit in line for 30 minutes to charge, or an hour even or more, and then wait on the charge after that. But supercharging's nice. It's fast. I mean, I went from 15 to 16% to 60% in probably 15 minutes. So that's cool. The interior, that's the other big issue. I mean, it's not wood, it's just plastic. It's cheap. It's cheaply made. Like, some of the junctions are like, what is going on? Here we gotta turn left, and it's kind of freaking out a little bit. But some of this, like where it meets the other panel, that's kind of goofy. The HVAC's super cool. It's just got one thing across the whole dash, and you can adjust. Look at this. You can adjust the vents right here. So you just slide up if you want higher, slide right if you want it out of your face. Same with the passenger. They've got their own control over there. So that's pretty cool. Heated seats. A lot of this I didn't mess with, but it seems pretty standard to a normal car with auto climate control. Let's make this turn here, and this is pretty much going to get us right back to this parking garage here. Oh, it's going to stop for people, but I gotta go because there's cars coming. So it's definitely safer than you are. And it's going to be overly cautious. You actually got to go this way. So it's not going to get me exactly where I need to go, but it'll get me close enough. And then it's beeping because I don't know why. It does that a lot. It beeps, it like freaks out, and I don't know. And then the last kind of bit is, so when you let off the gas, it's recharging or regenerative braking. And so here, I'll let off the gas, and it brakes pretty hard, and it'll come to a full stop, which is kind of a pain, and I think you can turn it off. Like, you don't have to have that do that or whatever, but that's just kind of is what it is. And then I don't know, it's not like it recharges the car as you're driving, so it's not like, I don't know how much it actually helps conserve battery power or whatever, but yeah. I mean, overall, it's nice, but just for my needs, I'll show you one more cool thing. It can park itself. Let me, just a nice little feature, I guess it has. Let me figure this out here. All right. Alrighty. So this is kind of the cool stuff that I just learned just driving the thing. Alright. So here, this is a private parking garage, and it just figures it out. It knows where all the cars are, and through the use of its cameras and everything, all this technology, it can just make a map out of the unknown, if you will. Which to me, it's just intuitive, it's cool. Technological advances. Yeah, the charging, I mean, the battery lasts a decent amount. And it's definitely cheaper than gas. Like, I don't know how many miles I actually drove this thing, but I only paid probably $20 total to enjoy it for a week. Charging twice. Once was just this last one. Okay, so the spot I need to be in is right there on the left. You can see it right there, that one. So we found a spot. Perfect. Auto park ready. Now it's got cars here, right there, but it's not going to hit them. It's going to do Y turns, whatever it's got to do to get in that spot, it'll do it for you. Here's our reverse camera. We've got a pillar on the right, which it just missed. It's doing everything, folks. It's doing it all. So cool. Pillar on the left. Backing right in. Boom. I'm gonna need to repark because there's not a lot of space on the left, but like it got in the spot.